Hi. Hello, my name is Thomas. I'm refuting the claim that the death penalty is an ineffective form of punishment. Now, the claims used were there could be other methods used to achieve incapacitation, the death penalty is too risky, and the death penalty fails as a deterrent. Now, coming back to the first claim, that there could be other methods used to achieve incapacitation, I'd like to challenge this evidence in that he said that the inmates are locked up 24/7 and can't harm anybody because they can't get out of their cell. However, this is not true. The inmates on death row are let out. They're allowed to go to the exercise yard altogether, and as a result of this, a man, Chris Bryce, had killed 3 of his inmates and got severely injured himself. So even though we're locking them up, they're still killing people. So you can't say that locking them up prevents death. The second claim, that the death penalty is too risky, I'm going to again go against his evidence. He said that the lives of the innocent people are lost. However, I'm not saying that this isn't true. His evidence, although, was very, very biased. The website used the deathpenalty.org was extremely biased. All the information on that site was one-sided. The title of the site was saying deterring from death penalty. There was no information going for the counter-argument, so it's hard to use evidence so biased. Now, his third claim, the death penalty fails as a deterrent. He said that the crime is not being deterred. However, according to the national crime rates from the years of 1960 to 2007, in 1960, the murder rate was 2.6%. In 2007, it was 1.5%, going down 1.1% in murder rates. So that completely goes against that argument. His two-door theory, the theory that it seems so speculative, saying that there's 2 doors, one door's open, one person standing on one side of the door, and that he's waiting for the entire flow of traffic to stop before he goes in, and saying that the other door is other means of the death penalty. It just seemed so speculative, it seemed not factual. It's hard to use that as evidence to me. And then he also was talking about how inmates would sometimes rather just choose the death penalty over life in prison, just because if they murdered someone, they can't live with themselves, they want to kill themselves to not live with that. Well, you can't really make that generalization saying everybody's going to take death over life. Some people may kill somebody and be happy with that, so they're going to just live with the rest of their lives. Or some people convicted with a death sentence they know they're innocent, so if they choose life in prison, there's that slight possibility that new evidence can be found and they can be let out. So again, the 3 claims used were there could be other methods used to achieve incapacitation, the death penalty is too risky, and that it fails as a deterrent. Thank you.
All right, you labeled the claims pretty clearly. The signpost on the first and second and third points is easy to follow. On the first point, you're talking about whether or not incapacitation really exists. You've got a single example that demonstrates some potential issues there. You want a source citation on that, but the example is a good illustration. That's the only information that you've got on that point, and you just move right on to the next point. It's probably a good idea to develop some other information on that particular point. On the second point, the basic argument is about bias. on the advocate's evidence, but the only charge of bias, of course, is the website is an advocacy group and it takes a point of view, which I think is reasonable to suggest, okay, in looking at this evidence, I have to consider it in the context in which it's presented, but I have no counter evidence to evaluate against it. I have no reason to reach a different conclusion, and there's not even any evidence from a bias source on the other side on that particular point, so I think it's a little underdeveloped. On the deterrence issue, you make a big inference about the murder rates from 1960 to 2007 being substantially different, but you don't attribute it to the death penalty. There's no explanation about why we would reach that conclusion, and so I'm not sure that it advances your point. There is a challenge to the advocate's analogy. They've got this kind of metaphor that they've talked about the elevator door and going in two directions. I'm not sure that the advocate's point was very clear, and I'm not sure that your point is very clear. Try and simplify the claim so it's easy to follow. And then the whole issue about choosing death at the end, I'm not sure, again, how it advances either the advocate's claim or your claim, so spending time on it seems a little bit superfluous. All right, thank you.